Just a reminder to vote in this week's Locals poll, where you decide what deck I take to Locals every single week. Without any further ado, I hope you enjoyed the video. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, and we have another deck profile for a deck that I've taken to Locals previously. Today is Alphabet Union, so without any further ado, here's a quick cut to what the deck looks like on paper, and then we'll get to the card by card. Alright, so starting off, we're running 2 Union drivers. So basically, I don't want to draw this. That's why I'm running 2 instead of 3 to decrease the likelihood of drawing it. But this lets us get to our Union pieces. We can special summon them. There's a couple cards I can interact with that we'll get to later. But yeah, basically this is a really good card, but you don't want to draw it. Next, we are going to be getting into the ABC pieces. Triple A Assault Core. So while this is equipped to a monster, it's unaffected by monster effects, and then it can recur Union monster when sent to the grave. B Buster Drake, also at 3. Same thing as A, but with spell effects, and then if it's sent to the grave, we get a search of a Union monster. And then C Crush Wyvern. Same unaffected effect, but with traps. And then if this one gets sent to grave, we special summon a Union from hand. Alright, and then going to the XYZ now. So X-Head Cannon, no effect because it's a normal monster. Y Dragon Head at 3, and then also Z Metal Tank at 3. So the extra copies can just serve as discard fodder, basically. And we can special summon the others out with either something like Union Driver or other cards we'll get to later. But yeah, the extra copies are just there to serve as discard fodder for the Fusion Monsters effects. Alright, and in addition, just as a, if we can do it, we have V Tiger Jet and W Wing Catapult. So we can try to go into the V to Z monster. I've done it before. It was pretty funny, actually. Moving on to spells, Triple Union Hanger. So this is kind of the heart and soul of the deck. This kind of facilitates everything, so we want to see this as quickly as possible, allowing our Unions to get equipped as soon as they're summoned. To kind of help with that, we are also running Triple Unauthorized Reactivation. So this allows us to target a monster and equip it with a Union straight from our deck. Very nice. Adds a nice consistency to it. Double XYZ Combine. This is one of the things that I mentioned we can summon out some of the XYZ pieces with. So if we banish a monster, we can special summon an X, Z, or Y straight from the deck. Then we can return a fusion monster we control to the extra deck to special summon the banished pieces back. So we can, say if we just have 2, we banish those to summon, say, XZ Tank Cannon, activate the effect of this, special Y from the deck. Second effect, return the XZ back to the extra deck, and then get XYZ. So, pretty nice card there. This is where the deck gets different from the version I took to Locals, is this next card right here, which is 3 copies of Fusion Deployment. So when I took it to Locals, we did okay, considering what the deck looked like before, but after that, because we didn't really do all that good, I guess, in hindsight. Not as good as I had hoped, so I was trying to look for ways to improve the deck, and it just hit me one day. I was like, wait, this card. So, running 3 copies of this, it has made the deck way more consistent. I'm really loving this card in the deck, and just the card in general. I'm running in a lot of my Fusion decks, like running in this, Frightfur, a couple others as well. But yeah, so there's that. We're also going to be running 3 Iron Draw. So this is a nice way where if we have some of our Unions on the field, we can draw into more cards, so that we can get discard fodder for ABC Dragon Buster or XYZ Dragon Cannon. Some of our more generic spells, we're running Terraforming to try to get the Union Hanger as quick as possible, and also Double Summon just as a way to try to get more monsters on the field for our Fusion monsters. And then for the trap cards, Union Scramble, and XYZ Hyper Cannon. With this one, it's really good if you discard it because you can banish it to get a light Union monster back to your hand. And then this one, if you have the XYZ or the A to Z, then you can draw a card during your turn and also pop a card on your opponent's turn. So just a nice additional way to interrupt the opponent there. Just kind of like as a win more. But yeah, moving on from the main deck now to the extra deck. So first is the VW Tiger Catapult. Again, this is kind of like a if we can do it. Not much to say there. Next are the individual, or I guess the double fusions, being YZ, XY, and XZ. This is used with the XYZ Combine just to try to get the third one out from the deck. So that's why we have these. We don't really use their effects because it's not ideal. Next is XYZ Dragon Cannon. So discard a card to pop a card. Pretty nice on a 2800. Next, triple ABC Dragon Buster. Discard to target one and banish, and then we can tribute this to special summon the ABC pieces back from the banish zone. Really nice there. The one V to Z Dragon Catapult Cannon, just, because if we can, why not flex? We are running one Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon. Basically, because we're not running any Armed Dragon monsters, this is just to have in the extra deck for the final spot. And then running 3 A to Z Dragon Buster Cannon. This is kind of the whole purpose of the deck, because it's just this really big, stupid boss monster that can just discard to negate anything. So it's really funny if you can get out on the field and then you just start dominating the duel. It's really funny. And then it can banish itself to get the ABC Dragon Buster and the XYZ Dragon Cannon back from your banish zone during either player's turn. So it's really nice in that aspect. But yeah, so 3 of this guy just because he's kind of the main goal of the deck. And also because the artwork is amazing. It's kind of the whole reason why I wanted to build it was because the artwork was so cool. But yeah, so that's going to be it for the deck profile. We'll shuffle and then get to some test hands. Okay, let's see what we get. Nice. We got the new card, Fusion Deployment. Unauthorized reactivation is also really good. Ooh, we got Union Hanger, B Buster Drake, and A Assault Core. Okay, so this deck, it can go first or second. It doesn't really matter. So since this is looking pretty good, we'll just go ahead and work with this for a going first hand. Then we'll do a going second for next turn. So basically what we're going to do is the main thing here, because we already have basically our 2 extenders right here, or this one can be a starter technically too, but since we have Union Hanger in hand, we're actually going to go ahead and activate Union Hanger first. And on activation, it lets us search a light Union monster from our deck to our hand. So assuming there's no Ash, but that's why I'm activating that first, is for Ash Bait. We are going to search for... We'll search for a Z Metal Tank just for discard fodder. So what we're going to do now is, again, assuming there was no Ash on the Union Hanger, we are going to go ahead and activate Fusion Deployment. So what we're going to do is we're going to reveal the ABC Dragon Buster in our extra deck, and we'll special summon one of the pieces. Alright, now, since we have 2 of the pieces already in hand, naturally we're going to go for the one we don't have. So we're going to get Sea Crush Wyvern out of the deck. Alright, so we're going to look for a Sea Crush Wyvern, and we'll summon it in defense mode. Voila. Alright, the effect of Union Hanger will trigger, allowing us to equip an appropriate Union monster from our deck to the summoned monster. So for this, what we're actually going to do is we're actually going to get the Union driver, so that way we can thin out our deck. There we go. So we're going to equip Union driver. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're actually just going to go ahead and banish the Union driver with its effect. To equip it with a different Union from our deck, we're going to equip B. All right, so C is now equipped with B. All right. Now, what I was talking about earlier is if we had Iron Draw right here, we could special summon the B and then draw 2. But we actually don't even need to do that. Or, well, we don't have it anyway, but you know what I'm saying. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to normal summon a Assault Corps. All right. Then we'll banish A, B, and C for the one and the only ABC Dragon Buster. All right. So now what we're going to do is we would actually just go ahead and pass turn there because, you know, we have discard fodder. We'd probably discard a B. And then we can always just, you know, banish this, summon the 3 back, and then resummon this second turn on our next turn if we need to. Because what we would do is for our next turn is, you know, let's just say our opponent set one face down and ended their turn. Okay? So we're going to draw for turn. Ooh, that's even better. Okay, so what we would do here is we go ahead and activate XYZ Combine. All right, I'm going to kind of move these up. All right, so then what we're going to do is we're going to normal summon Z Metal Tank. Activate Union Hanger. We'll equip it with Y. Straight from the deck. Equip it with Y. All right, then what we're going to do is we'll banish the Y and Z to get YZ Tank Dragon. All right, the effect of XYZ Combine will activate. Since a Light Machine Union was banished, we get special summon an X, Y, or Z straight from the deck. So now we're going to special summon X-Head Cannon from the deck. All right, now we're going to activate the second effect of XYZ Combine. We return the YZ Tank Dragon to the extra deck in order to special summon our banished Y and Z. Then we banish these two, or excuse me, these 3 for XYZ Dragon Cannon. Now from here we have a couple options. We could discard to destroy or discard to banish, or what we could do is we could actually just go ahead and banish these 2 for A to Z Dragon Buster Cannon. Because then what we can do is we can just discard these 2 to have 2 Omni Negates during our opponent's next turn. So yeah, that's basically what the deck does, and it only took us to our second turn to get this guy out on the field, so that's not bad. So we'll do one more test hand. I believe this one's going to be for going second, and then that'll be it. Okay, let's see what we get. All right. Oh, we don't want to draw the Union driver. Okay, X-Head. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, 2 X-Head cannons. Not really what we want to see. And for this one, we're going to go second, so we'll draw. And a B. Okay, so given what's in our hand, we're going to go for the XYZ Dragon Cannon play. So what we would do is we would just go ahead and normal summon X-Head Cannon and then activate Fusion Deployment. All right, so we'll get our extra deck. We'll reveal the XYZ Dragon Cannon. And we're going to special summon either Y or Z from our deck. Doesn't really matter. All right, so we got to Y first. Special summon Y. Shuffle, shuffle. All right, so then what we're going to do is we're going to activate the effect of XYZ Combine. All right, we're going to banish these for XY Dragon Cannon. So there's that. XYZ Combine will trigger. Special summoning Z out of the deck. Alright. Second effect of XYZ Combine, return this back to the extra. Special summon these two back. Banish. For the XYZ Dragon Cannon that we revealed. Alright, now, at this point, we have 3 cards that we can discard for this guy, because he's not a hard once per turn. So we have up to 3 cards we can discard to destroy, and then we can just hit him for 28. But yeah, that's basically everything this deck does, is just summon the various monsters with that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Obviously, you know, this deck isn't super competitive, but it is fun. So if you want to play a deck that has a bunch of big, cool-looking Machine Fusion monsters, then this is the deck for you. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the deck profile, and vote in the weekly locals polls, and I'll see you next time.